Hi everybody, I'm making another video. Please subscribe to the African American Maryland movement. I also have another channel called the Black American Mid-Atlantic movement. It's a similar channel, but they both deal with the same area. Are you Jewish? Are you a black person that practices the religion of Judaism? Do you need a area and part of the country in which you can live? It's a lot of people that practice Judaism that live in New York City, but the rent is so high and the gentrification is so bad they're getting pushed out of there. Did you know that there's a black Jewish community in Baltimore, Maryland that's a lot cheaper than California, than places like California, New York, Chicago, and Miami? These areas have heavily populated Jewish areas, but the cost of living is a high, and and money's important these days. Did you know that Baltimore, Maryland, they have a Jewish community there that's thriving? And it doesn't matter whether you practice your Orthodox Jew, Reform, Reconservative, or liberal Jew. It doesn't matter. If you want a black Jewish community that you can live in. I'm not talking about Hebrew Israelites. I'm talking about people that practice actual Torah Judaism. Torah, Talmud, Midrash, and the other rabbinic books. Yes, if you need an area in which part of the country you can live in, where y'all can have y'all own synagogues, y'all own kosher bakeries, y'all own kosher y'all own kosher delis, y'all own Jewish bookstores, black Jewish bookstores, y'all own synagogues where y'all can walk from home to in the area. You know what I'm saying? And also, and Baltimore is not a real small place. In the Baltimore metropolitan, you have about 2 million people, and you're very close to Washington, D.C. But the African American Maryland movement is anywhere in Maryland. And also, that would include the District of Columbia. So if you live, so you could also live in D.C. too, because it's adjacent right to Maryland. You know, I say Maryland is a big part of the Washington, D.C. metropolitan. But if you need somewhere to live, in New York City, the rent is just too high up there, right? Most African American Jews are like most African Americans. We're not very wealthy people, but the large Jewish communities aren't in on are in these places like Chicago's, the New York's, the LA's, the San Francisco's, and the Miami's. But these are some of the most expensive cities for us to live in. That's why Baltimore, it could be you could come and link up with the black Jewish community in Baltimore. They have synagogues there. They have brothers that practice Orthodox Judaism in the Baltimore, Maryland area. If Chicago is just too much for you, if New York is too much for you, if San Francisco is too much for you, or if the Miami area or Florida in general is just too much for you, you can't make it, you want a new start in life, and you want to go somewhere where you can practice your faith of Judaism and live a comfortable life, Maryland is it. And that's why you need to join the African American Maryland movement. Once again, the African American Maryland movement. You can come here, you can live here, you can thrive here in Maryland. And also, we're by the District of Columbia. We're right by the District of Columbia. If I was you, I would get everything I had and sell everything I have and make my way to Maryland if I couldn't afford to live in New York, California, Miami, or even Chicago, right? And you don't want to go to the cursed city of Atlanta, Georgia. Avoid Atlanta, Georgia, for a lot of reasons, not just for black Jews, but for black people in general. But yes, the place for you is probably in Maryland. Yes, you could consider it, right? If it's just if Chicago, you can't do it there, or any part of the country, or any part of the world. You know, you might be a Ethiopian Jew that lives in Israel that wants to come live in America for a while. You can make your way to Maryland. Please let everybody know about this movement. It's called the African American Maryland movement. But if you practice in Judaism and you want a nice, decent place to live, a quiet place to where it's not crazy, and to where you can actually raise a family, places like, if you really want to live a Orthodox Jewish or any kind of Jewish life, conservative Jewish life, Miami and places like San Francisco are not quite the place for you. Baltimore is a lot more family orientated. And I thank you. Please like and subscribe to this channel. And please join the African American Maryland movement and my other channel, the Black American Mid-Atlantic movement. Thank you.